Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken cry?
Well,
Does a chicken commit suicide?
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is my channel, Biblical B. This is where we seek to recover biblical Christianity in our immediate community. My name is Annabelle. I live in Kenya, and today's topic is post-modernism. Postmodernism can be a difficult topic to discuss because it's a bit complicated, but I hope I can do a good job in explaining it and also explaining how postmodernism is affecting the church today. So we're going to go through a couple of definitions so that we can better understand postmodernism. So just bear with me as we go through maybe 2 or 3 definitions before now we have a proper understanding of what postmodernism is. Postmodernism is an intellectual movement that emerged in the 19th century after modernism. It is a stance or an attitude of skepticism towards what is characterized as the grand narratives of modernism. What are the grand narratives of modernism? Examples of grand narratives are objectivity, rationality, historical progress, and identity. Just stay with me, we'll look at some examples so we can better understand. Therefore, claims to objective fact are dismissed as naive realism. So let me explain naive realism before we get into some examples. Naive realism is the idea that senses provide us with direct awareness of objects as they really are. So what do I mean? Well, let's look at an example. What do you see in this video? You might say, this is a bulb. The reason behind this is because your eyes, i.e. your senses, are telling you this. If you are in the same room with the object, you might also be able to touch it, and that as well would also tell you that it is indeed a bulb. This is not an opinion, it's a fact. And any other answer to this question is therefore wrong. A postmodernist, however, would argue that the word bulb doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it is individuals that give words meaning. For example, if someone believes that this is a bulb, then they are just as right. I know this sounds really confusing, but we're going to look at real life examples, not just like hypothetical examples, and then it will be a lot more clearer. So just stick with me. Let's look at another example. What is 2 plus 2? Well, let's see.
So some things are right and some things are wrong. Correct? Is 2
With
plus
that
2
individual,
7?
that's
Is
individually.
2 plus 2 7?
Yeah, 2 plus 2 is 7.
No, it's 4.
2 plus 2 can be 7 if you want it to be.
As you can see, a postmodernist has an issue with stating directly that 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. Truth is not exclusive, truth is relative. A truth is simply what works for you. If 2 plus 2 equals 4 works for you, then so be it. If 2 plus 2 equals 7, then so be it. Another tenet of postmodernism is the belief that the assertion of truth is an unfair imposition of power and therefore must be deconstructed. Truth, similar to history, was written by those who are in power, and therefore every knowledge, yes, including science and math, is tainted by bias. Watch this video for a better understanding.
So if I told you that I was a woman, what would your response be?
Good for you. Okay, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
I don't have a problem with it.
I'd ask you how you came to that conclusion.
If I told you that I was Chinese, what would your response be?
I mean, I might be a little surprised, but I would say, good for you. Yeah, be who you are.
If I told you that I was 7 years old, what would your response be?
I wouldn't believe that immediately.
I probably wouldn't believe it, but I mean, it wouldn't really bother me that much to go out of my way and tell you, no, you're wrong. I'd just be like, oh, okay, he wants to say he's 7 years old.
If you feel 7 at heart, then then so be it. Yeah, good for you.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what it truly means to grow up in a post-modernist society. These are university students, but they're having a hard time telling this man that he is indeed not 7 years old or that he is not a woman. They feel guilty. They're feeling guilty because they do not want to impose their truth on him, because remember, one of the tenets that we've just spoken about is that it is unfair to impose your truth on someone else. So what are the 2 things that we've learned so far? The first is that truth depends on who you're talking to. words have no meaning. Woman has no meaning. Bulb has no meaning. Man has no meaning. The age 7 has no meaning. 2 plus 2 can be equals to whatever it is that you want. Second, one must not try to impose their truth on another because that is an unfair imposition of power. Now let's look at the first clip that we started with, and we'll see the difference between someone who holds to modernist idea and someone who is a postmodernist. This is going to be fun. Let's get into it. Oh, right. Before we get into it, maybe I should give you guys an overview. So in America, and technically in the West, so that includes Australia and the UK, there is an ongoing debate of what it truly means to be a man or a woman. Because remember, words have no meaning. So how then do we define what a woman is?
When the doctor sees the penis and says, this is a male, has the sex of male, that's an arbitrary distinction.
Telling that family, based on that little penis, that your child is absolutely 100% male identified, no matter what else occurs in their life, that's not correct.
Male gametes, that's what makes me male.
No, your sperm don't make you male.
Then what does?
It's a constellation.
In reality, in truth, okay?
Whose truth are we talking about?
The same truth that says we're sitting in this room right now, you and I.
No, you're not listening.
If I see a chicken laying eggs and I say that's a female chicken laying eggs, did I assign female, or am I just observing a physical reality that's happening in the world?
Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken cry?
Well,
Does a chicken commit suicide? Let's
does that have to do
frame
with-
it, because you're talking.
Okay, so what we're witnessing here is a discussion between a modernist and a postmodernist. So Matt Walsh begins by asserting that male gametes, or the ability for a human being to create sperm, would then make them male. But she says no. And so he asks, okay, so then what makes a man? And she says, a constellation. The reason why she doesn't give anything specific is, remember, it has to be broad enough that everyone's definition and everyone's ideas are added to it. Because remember, words don't have meaning. Human beings are the ones who give words meaning. Individuals give words meaning. That means that whatever definition I choose to give to the word man or choose to give to the word woman, I am correct either way. Matt Walsh, who is a modernist, tries to appeal to truth.
In reality, in truth, okay?
Whose truth are we talking about?
So he says, in truth, in reality, what makes someone a man? So he's trying to appeal to the idea that there is such a thing as right and wrong. But her reply is, whose truth are we talking about? Remember, in postmodernism, truth is relative. It depends on who you are or who you're talking to, and therefore there is no such thing as objective truth. Truth depends on who you're talking to. Okay, so that will do for today's video. Next time, we're going to look at how postmodernism is actually affecting the church. Now that we've understood it, please go into the comments and comment about what you think about what we've learned about postmodernism. If you've seen it anywhere, if you've seen it on TV shows, if you've seen it in movies, it's really everywhere, honestly. So thank you so much for watching this channel. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I love you guys, and God bless you. Bye.